Okay, let's get into it. Like I promised, wanted to get you guys this video going into the weekend just so you can look over it, build your own analysis, thesis around it, and so on. So I'll do a session recap of today, and then I'll give you my pre-market game plan going into Monday. So as always, let's keep this quick, clean, and easy. Beautiful analysis here on the SPY. Patient pace, patient pace. So you see, right? I mean, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. This is 1, 2, 3 weeks of us just pulling back. But what do? We pull back to our key support level here. On the dot, we pull back to our key support level here, buyer step up, and this is how you get in at the bottom of the range. I've been trying to teach you folks. Say it with me. The trend is your friend, and the dip is what? Your best friend. This is how you grow your small account. Every single trade that you take and that I'm trying to teach you should automatically be a high RR trade. And I'm going to break that down a little bit thoroughly here. So, same thing. As long as we're above 653, you are bullish bias on the market. I took 2 shots here today, 2 high probability shots. Like I said, I broke that down in the weekly recap video. Please go watch that. It's a great insight. Look at this. That is the dip. That's the trend, right? We pull back. You can see history likes to repeat itself. Every time we pull back to the 653, right, we push to the upside. Let's go here on the weekly. I'm sorry, on the daily. Look at that hammer stick candle. Look at that. So I know, I've been trading for a long time. I know the average trader, the average retail trader, they see all this and they're just trying to short the market. You guys know what I've been teaching you. When I see these pullbacks and we're bullish buys from the higher time frame, I see those as opportunities. I see those as, okay, where can I buy the dip? Where can I look for the dip to get in and join this trend? This is where buyers load back up to push this thing higher, and we saw that today. So history repeats itself, right? The 653, every time we push down into here, what do buyers do? Push it back up. So as long as we are above 653, we are bullish bias. Let's go here on the 2 minute. I took my shot here. On SPY. We fall under. I know this is just how my mind thinks, and I'm trying to train you guys to think the same way. I know if we fall under, I'm not automatically trying to switch to short. Why? Because I know, yeah, there's people right now trying to short this name. So I want people to try and short this name so it can do what? Fuel this move higher. That's exactly what I want. I want everyone to come in and say, all right, we're finally bearish, the market's gone. And what does that do? Fuels this move higher. So super solid here. I ended up taking my trade, right? I had this low a day here be my stop loss. We ended up falling under, right? I got to cut it. We fell under the low a day. I always set my stop losses where there's a break of structure. I played next week cons, ended up getting squeezed. You can see here, we found some intraday support, double bottom, fuels that move higher. Now, what do I mean when I say high RR trades? Let me break this down a little bit more thoroughly for you. Let's go here, TradeZilla. So this was my first shot. I played next week cons. You can see here the date, 24th. I played next week cons. This is what I love about TradeZilla. So let's say, because I was looking for a swing trade here. That's why I played next week cons. So let's just say you ended up holding this until the high day, which here is going to be 11,451. That's a $14,000 trade. That's over 100% return. So what do I mean by RR trade? I am 100% willing to risk 900 bucks to make 14 grand. You got over 100% in a single day. This is without even having a swing trade. You got over 100% return in a single day. So that's what I mean by high RR trades, right? The trend is your friend, the dip is your best friend. So going into Monday, as long as you're above 653, you're just looking for break and retest. So now for me, going into Monday, my favorite shot on SPY is this. Reason for that being because we'll be over the previous day high. You can definitely look for this again. Hey, if we want to stay weak, you got to wait for clean displacement. You have to wait for clean displacement because you can clearly see it could just be a bear trap and fuels that move higher. Same thing here on the Qs. If you caught that today, kudos to you, right? This is where patient pays. If you're sitting above 587.85, right? Your bullish bias. We ended up getting a super solid breakout here, right? You feel like, oh no, you missed a move. No, you didn't. Look at that. That is beautiful. Dip is your friend. Look at that. Trend continuation. I know 2 people today who actually did short under this 587.85. They cashed out. They played zeros. They got over 100% return. Look at our key level doing its job. Look at that. Look at the correlation, right? Go look at SPY and then look at Qs. Look at the correlation here. Find a intraday support, double bottom right off our 580.75. Push this thing higher. So coming into Monday, what do I like here? If I am looking to trade the Qs, that is super solid. You can see this is a key level here being respected every single time. I love the correlation here because it's also a confluence with the previous day high. So obviously if we're outside of the previous day high and the previous day low, that's a higher probability shot. So if you're looking to go long here, right? If you're looking to go long 595.85, that is your shot on Monday. As long as we're above this 587.85, you can see here, respected on the dot, you can look for that because that's the dip buy or a break and retest over 595.85. Tesla. So really nothing's changed on Tesla. Kind of the same thing all week. We know 410 is such a key level. We know our 398.20 is such a key level, but there's no more key levels here, at least for me, that I found on Tesla. Let's go here on the 15 minute. You can see here, right? The game plan coming into today was a break and retest over 410 or a short under 398.20. Now, I ended up passing on this. I was actually looking at this at market open, but the reason that I passed on this is, like I've been trying to teach you, there's a difference between skipping a trade and missing a trade. So if you pay attention to the IV prior to entering a trade, which I've been trying to teach you, you would notice that today the 0DTEs, the IV on Tesla cons were over 130%. So I automatically said, yeah, I'm not touching that. Next week contracts were about, $12, $14. For those who don't know, that's 1,200 or 1,400. So I'm like, it's really just not worth the risk to me, especially on a Friday. Also, right, I didn't like these candles. Look how big and wicked these candles are, and then look how they cleaned up here. Right? Look at the difference with these candles versus these opening candles. Right? Big wicky candles equals a lot of risk. So to me, it just wasn't worth the risk. I skipped it, but you can clearly see we got the break and retest under 398.20, and this thing went all the way to the downside. So if you caught that, kudos to you. But to me, it wasn't worth the risk, so I passed on it. Now, coming into Monday, really the same game plan that it's been this whole week, right? And this is why, having channels, it kind of does make life a little bit easier because you're not looking to trade in a channel. So as long as we're under 410, we are bearish bias. So this is a solid shot, or you're looking for this again. You can see over 410, we got this set up twice this week. I already broke that down. I took my shot here this week, didn't get it. I took it Monday, I got it, and this set up again on Thursday. So right, we're going to avoid this channel. We're going to avoid this channel. There's nothing in here for us. We're bearish bias under 410. You're looking for this, or you're looking for this. Now, what I really love is if we can get one of these under 398.25, I love that just because, if we open up in between 398 and 389, we're pretty much just dead smack in between the previous day high and the previous day low, right? We're dead smack. Now, a short that I would love under 398.20 is, let's just say during the pre-market, we sweep the previous day high and then do that. I love that. That's a great setup. We already swept this liquidity. We got unmitigated liquidity at the previous day low, and we're bearish bias. So just be cautious there. Look for that. But as long as we're under 410, we're bearish bias. So my two key levels on Tesla is 398 and 389. NVIDIA, same thing. It did the same thing as the SPY and the Qs. Let's go here. Actually, let's go to the weekly, right? What I've been teaching you, the trend is your friend, and the dip is what? Say it with me, your best friend. This is your high RR trade. Every time we pull back here, buyer step up and shoot this thing higher. We know that. We know that. So we're bullish bias on NVIDIA. We know as long as we're above this 173.15, we're looking for upside. So let's go here on the intraday. I mean, look at this. This is textbook. Key level did its job on the dot. We didn't even get a candle that failed under here. It was a little bit trickier on SPY. You really had to be patient and hold your water, but NVIDIA made it easy, right? So the average trader is like, oh no, we're finally failing. We're finally failing. If you're applying what I'm teaching, you're like, this is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity. And it does that. That's your small account shot right there. You're risking this much to make this much. I really hope that makes sense. So even if you didn't swing trade this or you didn't look to take a swing trade, you played next week cons, still within the day, you definitely made 100% return on your investment. Right? Even if you waited till we got to this next key level, we ended up breaking this key level, right? We ended up breaking this, holding, we pulled back again, we held this and shot back up to the upside. So we're bullish bias here on NVIDIA. Held this weekly level, this 173.15. That's beautiful, that's textbook. Now, what I really love, and this is definitely gonna be on my close watch list coming into Monday, this is my A+ shot. This is my A+ shot. You guys know I've been looking at this 184.50. Not only is it a weekly level, but remember on the daily, this is a channel. I'll zoom out here in a little bit. You can also see how clearly our key level is being respected. I love this 184.50. We can get a break and retest over this. That is a super solid setup. And, right, it's over the previous day high. That's a high probability shot. Let me go here on the daily, show you exactly what I'm talking about. Like you've been hearing me say, if we stay under 184.50, I'm just hands off just because of this, right? That's a channel. That's a channel. So either you're going to get in here, bottom of the range, or a break and retest turn in this range into support, continuing higher. Like I've been teaching you folks, you want to be in a position down here before we get back up here. The A+ trades don't look like an A+ trade in the moment, but if you know what you're doing and you know what you're looking for, these are the A+ shots. So, buyer step up. I mean, this is the type of candle you want to see. Just hammer stick candle, buyer step up very aggressively, push this thing higher. So on Monday, right, if we can get this, that is super solid. And if you're already in this trade, you're chilling. And then Apple. So I want to break this down thoroughly with you guys. Actually, let's go here on the intraday. So Apple gave us our setup. It gave us our setup during the pre-market. I was looking for this. Unfortunately, did not get it. We know. You guys been hearing me say over and over, I'm looking for the pullback long off this 264.05. This is the dip, right? You want to be in a trade down here before you get back up here. So that being said, we ended up, you can clearly see, got that break and retest during the pre-market on the dot, and then this thing pushes higher. So that being said, even though, I've been saying I'm not really going to take a trade off at 267.10 because we're in a channel, I was actually looking for a long opportunity off this level. Why? Because we already completed its objective, right? We got the retest down here, but it was during the pre-market. So now I'm trying to join the trend. I'm trying to find the continuation. And you can clearly see what Apple did. This thing just trended higher all day, all day. So if you caught that and you got in at the bottom of the range before we got back to the top of the range, you're in a great position. You can clearly see, right? I was looking at this candle, but that's not enough displacement, right? That's a wick. So the body of the candle really closed here. This is a displacement candle that I wanted, which we ended up getting. Good closure, but we never got that. Never got that, so I never got my shot there. And then, of course, I mean, we're so extended, and you want to be in a position down here before we get back up there. So let's go back here on the daily, because now, what am I going to do? We know we're not looking for a trade anywhere in here, in between 271 and 267. So just to make things a little bit easier, boom. It's that simple now. It's that simple, right? This is a channel. I don't want anything to do with that. So the only way I look for a long is off of here, or a break and retest off of here, targeting top of this range and all-time highs. Those are two high probability shots. But you can see this is the dip I've been talking about. This is the dip I've been talking about. You know, we got the retest during pre-market, not during the intraday, so we can still look for this. We can still look for this, but it did pull back during the pre-market, shot up. So this is still a key level to look for a long off of, but still going into next week, and it's pretty much been the same thing for the last 2 weeks. You're looking for a break and retest over 271 or a pullback long over 264.05. Now that the main watches are done, let's go here to the side watches. Google. Now Google's setting up. Google is setting up. You guys know what I just told you, right? What do I want to see on Google? I want to see a daily candle form above here, and then we turn this channel into support, targeting top of this range. So now Google's in play. Don't sleep on this. This is a great RR trade, right? 291.95, targeting 306, top of the range. That's a solid shot. So Google's in play. Google's in play. Let's go here on the daily. You can see we ended up gapping above, broke above, but we never got that deep enough pullback here. Let me turn the screen. Never got that deep enough pullback. So on Monday, right, I'm definitely looking for this. Google's finally on the close watch now. I'm definitely looking for this. That is a solid shot. You can target here. You can target here. A lot of thin volume in here. You can see we pretty much tried and filled that today. We still got some thin volume to fill, so I'm pretty open to this, but the dip is your friend, right? The trend is your friend, the dip is your best friend. So this is a great RR trade. You can get in at 291, get a pullback long down here, target this unmitigated liquidity in here. But if we don't pull back to this 291, I'm hands off. I don't want to take a trade off the previous day high, and you're already sitting at the top of the range. Like I say, if you do that, you're already late to the party. And then Amazon. So let me break this down. Amazon, right? As long as you're in between 236 and 217.40, you're neutral. You can look to go long, you can look to go short. The reason for that being, I'll show you why. It's just this, just sideways action. Does that look like a trend to you? Not at all. Now, what do I want to see? I want to see this, do that. This is really your A+ shot. If we can, and it's a weekly level. So if we can get a break and retest over 236, I also love that it's a whole number. If we can get a break and retest over that, you're in a great entry here, and you can target the top of this range. So anywhere in here, you're pretty much, I'm hands off, but if you want to look to trade it, you have no bias, right? You can look to go long, you can look to go short. You can see our key levels get respected very well on the intraday here on Amazon, right? You can clearly see these are my key levels. I'll go here on the daily just so you can have them, right? But as long as you're in between 236 and 217, you can go long, you can go short, but you really want to look, if you want to look for more upside continuation, you want to look for a break and retest over 236. Hope this helped. Hope you guys had a good week. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's finish out the month strong. Can't believe it's already Thanksgiving next week. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. I appreciate all the love, support, all you folks rocking with me. Let's keep this thing going.